How does living in Japan for the last 3 years change me? My name is Harold and I'm from the beautiful Solomon Islands. In 2021, I moved to Japan to study. Currently, I'm studying at a graduate university here in Tokyo. Well, when it comes to behavioral change, I like to believe that it's very subjective. Subjective in the sense that what I consider as change might not be seen as change at all by somebody else. For the most part, I think I'm still the same Harold who moved to Japan 3 years ago. For example, I'm currently trying to clean up what I left from last night, which goes to show that old habits do die very, very hard. So the other day I was talking to this Japanese friend and she mentioned how much I have changed after moving to Tokyo, and I was like, what? And then she reminded me of how I used to be very late to some meetings when I first moved to Tokyo. And it dawned on me that when I first moved to Tokyo, I was really struggling to adjust to like how the system works. I don't know if you guys have heard of the concept of island time. You know, in the islands, everything is so relaxed. Time stands still on most of the islands. You know, when you are told to turn up at 9 o'clock, people turn up after 9, half 9, or even 10 o'clock. And when you come from such a very slow place like the Solomon Islands to such a fast-paced city like Tokyo, it was an experience of its own. I think turning up early to events and all this is still a work in progress for me, but I would definitely say that I have improved a lot in this area. And talking about turning up on time, I've also noticed that Japanese people are very big on scheduling things. And when I say very big, I mean they are very serious. If you're planning on meeting up with friends, say for a few drinks, it's kind of customary for you to tell them well ahead of time, like say a few weeks or even months. I think back home people are not too scheduled. You always have time for friends, and there's always a high chance for you to meet up with your friends even on a short notice. Now with all this scheduling, you expect to have tons of emails, messages and all this, and I'm really bad with emails. When I got to Japan, I missed a lot of things because of not checking my emails. And I think this is one of the areas that I've made a lot of improvements. I always try to check my emails and make sure that I do not miss out on any school activities, any programs and all this. I think for the most part, the joy of living in Japan is embracing a different culture. Our worlds are very different. The Solomon Islands is totally different from Japan. That's why I kind of love it. Like it's a learning experience every day. And I think it's not only Japan that we get to learn new things every day. I mean, if you think about it, moving to a new place is an opportunity for you to learn from different cultures. And I would say that is one of the biggest changes for me here in Japan. Having a mindset that you live with different people and you just need to appreciate how people live, the way they do things and all this. And over the past 3 years, I've learned to let go of some things that I used to do back at home. You know, when I say letting go of things that I used to do in my country, I'm not actually saying that I'm planning to forego my culture or my normal way of doing things. But when you are in a different country, there are certain things in that particular culture that just don't align with how you do things back home. So in order for you to adapt to that environment, you need to make some kind of changes. You know, when I first arrived in Japan, one of the things that I miss about my country is the noise. We grow up around a lot of people, like close family. To us, family is very important. Extended family, your uncles, your cousins, and all this. You grow up together, and it's normal to be noisy, to be laughing, and to be sharing jokes every day. That's what I missed about the Solomons when I first arrived here. But after settling in, I noticed that Japan is not such a society at all. I think it has its own pros and cons. But when you decide to adhere to the normal way of doing things in the society that you find yourself in, you started to enjoy life more. One thing that I like about the Japanese culture is the level of politeness. And I do understand when people say Japanese people are polite, but they lack empathy. I'm not really an expert in the Japanese culture, but I believe Japanese people are trained from an early age to be polite and to be nice to people. So in shops and in public places, people are generally nice. They are polite because that's what they are trained to do. And a lot of times they are doing this out of what has been passed down to them. And for a lot of them, I think their politeness doesn't come with any empathy at all. And I think that really surprises a lot of people. For me personally, when I don't like people, it actually shows. But the Japanese culture has taught me one thing: you don't have to like a person to be nice to him. If you have enjoyed this conversation, please check out my other story right up here. This is Harold in Japan. I will see you in the next one.